And I think many of us react to life instead of responding. Hello YouTube family, your girl Coach Corey, and welcome back. It's another day, another session, and I'm super excited. As I promised you, we're doing the series I Am Africa, and so I hope you're going to enjoy our content today. Today is a little bit more sobering. I think if you watched the last video, you will remember we ended on a kind of sort of bittersweet place, and a lot of you are left hanging and wondering, okay, what just happened? If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go back to the previous video and you will see what I'm talking about. If you like our content, please do not be shy. Subscribe, it's free. Share and like, and that will support grow this YouTube channel, and I hope it will inspire, motivate, and impact you to be the best version of you. So, about today, I told you about another coach. Her name is Coach Joan Mwangi. And, okay, this lady took us to our childhood. She really took us back. And the reason she took us back is she helped us to understand that we behave and we react the way we do today based mostly on quite a few things or the experiences that we went through. And I was actually I was recording, but I was forced to examine myself. I was forced to examine myself, and I will share a little bit here because it was deep. It was deep, and I know I'm not alone. I know I am not alone. She gave an example, and you will. I have a clip. I don't have her whole session, but I have a good chunk of her clip that of something she spoke to us about. And I know when I was raising my children, I reacted a lot instead of responding. And I think many of us react to life instead of responding. In the context she was teaching us is really about raising children, but when I think about it, it really applies to to most of what we do in life. Backstory about me. I grew up, I was born into a decent family, at least I think I was. Mom and dad got married. I am the firstborn child, and we were 3. We are now 2. We lost my sister, but I do have a brother, and he will come to share his story because he has also had quite a journey. But our upbringing, our childhood years were not happy years. My father was abusive, and we encountered a lot of let's just say unfortunate incidents at home. And later on, my parents separated, and then my father died when we were quite young. And so I'm kind of just putting all this in a nutshell, but I want you to enter the mind of a 5-year-old watching physical abuse happen at home, experiencing some extreme let's just say extreme conditions in terms of the atmosphere. The atmosphere in our home when we were growing up was downright toxic. And then you have family turning against you, and you are abandoned. And honestly, we were just, let me just say, we were God's children, but we were laughed at in school. Oh my God, we were laughed at. I'll never forget one girl looked at me because my mother could not afford to buy us. She could not afford to buy me a petticoat, and because she could not afford to buy me a petticoat, I didn't know that. I didn't know Mom was struggling that much. much. She was a single mother with 3 children to raise. And my uniform, you know how your uniform, I had 2. So it's washed every day pretty much. There's a uniform being washed. And because of being washed so much, it became very paper thin. And because of becoming paper thin, you could pretty much see right through me. I mean, really there was nothing to hide. And the beauty of children, because I knew that, but there's nothing I could do. So I went to school the way I was with my lingerie uniform, because my uniform was pretty much lingerie, like you could just see through. But it's because my mother could not afford to buy me a petticoat, and yet she tried so hard to put us in a good school. And so in that process, I remember being abused in school because you could see right through me. You know, why can't you wear, you know, a petticoat with your dress? And I remember hounding my mom for this petticoat. Long story short, you know how children can be cruel. My self-esteem just went down, and I had no self-esteem. I didn't believe in me. And back then, adults also used to talk really, let me say, their words were not building, they were destroying. And I have been told things that are gut-wrenching. I have been told how useless I am. Between the teachers telling us how useless we are when we could get, you know, a sum correct. And my mom tried to take us to a good school. She took us back then. We're in Nairobi Primary. And Nairobi Primary back then was a really good school. And so at the time, and this is in the 70s, it was an upscale school. We went to school with the who's who. So you can imagine showing up in school. I had no break, you know. I used to beg for break. I mean, where are we getting money for break? Did my mother even have bus fare? That we are going to talk about break. Break what? So, and then, you know, those kids back then used to say Nick beggings and all that. And yeah, it was tough. It was very tough. And I can tell you, it was a very rough growing up, because we were thrown in the midst of upmarket children, the who's who of Nairobi, and they looked down on us. They spoke trash to us. I mean, even now in my adult life, I do meet certain people and they have tried to say some things because they think I'm that same little girl. And so as I bring you Coach Joan, I just want to, I can't tell you like I'm like 100% okay, because I think it's a journey. But in that session, I was forced to reflect. And if I had to do some things again, my children are now adults, I would stop and really, instead of reacting, I was very reactionary. I saw violence in our home, and so I would say I was a violent parent, but a backhand, would come landing on those children quickly. I didn't take any crap from my kids. Thank God we had a good relationship with them, and I still do have a good relationship with them. I don't know if they're traumatized. I sure hope not. But I'm sharing this because I don't know who's gonna watch this, and I don't know where you are in your journey. But it's okay to be imperfect. I'm in my 50s now, and I can't change what happened back then. But I can change the way I do life going forward. I don't have to react to everybody who I'm upset with. I don't have to, get down to that level. I can sober up and respond in a sober manner, because I am not that little girl that was abused anymore. I'm now a grown woman. And even though I have a lot of the wounds and I carry them, I now carry them with pride, because they have shaped me into who I am. And today when I see someone, a little child who is being abused, when I see even an adult, a woman who is persevering in her marriage, I'm not quick to judge, because I know she has a story. And so I hope you enjoy watching Joan, and I'll come back and let's talk a little bit when she's done. Let's regroup, and I'd like to hear your comments. Please put your comments below and let me know what you think. What do you think about how we were raised, especially for those of us who came from Africa or who come from Africa, how we were raised and how we have done parenting. We're trying to raise children in a whole different world. How are you doing as a parent? How are you doing as a wife? How are you doing as a mother, as a father, as a son, as a daughter, as a brother, as a sister? Let's talk about it. Feel free to share in the comments. Let's grow together and let's share together. I'll see you at the end, okay? Enjoy what Joan and Coach Jean have to say, and let's talk at the end.
Your adult self is your emotional regulator. Your adult self knows what you're feeling at all times. Because our emotions are what make us react to life versus respond to life. A lot of us react to life.
Explain with examples. Reacting versus responding is very different.
Yes. So I'll use children as an example because that's the most consistent thing around women. And I'll use my dear friend over there, Eva Wamura, because she has a toddler. When a toddler throws a tantrum, like a furious tantrum, your body as an adult will react to that tantrum. Okay? So, what do you know as truth and fact about that moment? Is that that child is upset or frustrated or something about that moment. Reacting to that child is yanking them, locking them up, punishing them, doing something that does not mitigate the situation. Responding is sitting with that child, letting them go through that emotion and helping them regulate, helping them get language to explain what it is they're feeling. And it takes time, it takes patience, it takes everything in you. And a lot of us, unfortunately, as lazy parents, don't like that.
She called you lazy.
I was one.
So I am
totally one of those people.
Who's feeling attacked? Do you see why I was telling you I had issues with Joanne's content? Okay.
I was that parent who left my child, so I'll explain. My child was a tantrum thrower, like she had big emotions, even now, as an adult. And I could not handle. So our home was behind, there was a supermarket behind our home. And when she was 3-4 years old, we would go and what do 3 and 4 year olds do? They want the candy, they want this, and I'm like, no. And she would roll on the floor and throw a tantrum, and I'd be like, bye, and tell the shopkeeper, Mwangi akuje nyumbani. Tell her to come home when she's done. And I'd leave her there with strangers in a store and go home. And we would hear her walking. You know? That is how you react to life. It's awful. And please don't do that now, because we are crazy. Thank God when she was younger, there were no crazy. Nobody was trying to snatch her, but your child will be snatched if you do that. And you'll go to jail. So that's what I'm talking about when I say reacting versus responding.
Yeah. And you mentioned your feelings.
Yes.
And feelings, and this is one of the things, if you've been in my class, I say the feeling is everything. And it's almost like when you're feeling good, you're on a channel, and it's almost like you're wearing rose-colored glasses. You see, when you feel good, you have a positive and optimistic sense of everything. Very different from when you're not. And that's, you were talking about how physically you feel, and it also is the GPS for how you're operating internally.
Yes. And so feelings, when you're born, you have feelings, right? And you feel all your feelings between age 0 to 7. When you observe children that age, when they feel, they feel. If it's joy, it's true joy, you can tell. If it's sadness, it's sadness. If it's frustration, you can tell. And when you look at them, you can see it's a body reaction. It's not here in the head. But we are taught by life to suppress that. But if you pay attention to yourself, you will see your body is going to give you a signal of how you're feeling. So I tell the people who take my class, check on yourself. Every hour, on the hour, ask yourself, how am I feeling? And a lot of them don't even know what they're feeling. So it takes practice. So we use what we call a feelings wheel, and it has a lot of different emotions. So you stop, you ask yourself, and a lot of them call me, they're like, I'm feeling something but I don't know. And I'm like, just sit with it, check, because I can't tell you how you're feeling. We cannot tell another person how they're feeling or how they're supposed to feel. And that's another thing we do from our adolescent self, is we tell people, oh, it's not too bad, at least, we comparative suffering. Your mom died, at least you had a mom. I was like, or, we say some crazy things in the I guess with the intention of making a person feel better, but we are truly making them feel horrible. And in the process, making them suppress their emotions. We invalidate other people's emotions because we are not in touch with our own.
And I say, where did they come from? And that's what we're talking about. But I have a question for you before we wrap up, and I'm going to ask the question. What would you have liked to hear from the adults in your life to encourage you to be who you were as a child? For example, for me is, your big mouth is okay. I would have liked to hear that. Because I shut it for years. I didn't speak. I didn't say what I really wanted to say. I would have liked to hear that you're beautiful as you are. What would you have liked to hear?
I'll do it.
What would you have liked to hear? And it's one sentence.
I'll get
No.
to hear that I'm enough.
You are
And
enough.
I need to be me.
Okay.
I had to hear this, the kids and teenagers say, do you. Yes. So I wanted to hear somebody tell me, do
You. Okay? Who else? Jacinta?
I would have liked to hear that I'm not worse than Mrs. So-and-so's daughter.
Comparison is a thief of all joy. Yes. What would you have liked to hear?
I'd love to hear, I do not have to set myself on fire to be correct.
Yes.
I do not have to set myself on fire to give other people warmth. That's deep. What would you have liked to hear? I see you back there. Purity. Oh, she's moved on. Okay.
I'd have loved to hear that I don't have to dim myself for other people.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to hear I'm not less than a man.
Oh, yeah!
I'm not less than a man.
I would have loved to hear not being told what will people say.
Somebody way over there. I would love to hear it is not yours to solve.
Yes.
Do you see how hungry we are to sing?
I would have loved to hear, go for it, you can do it.
Go for it, you can do it.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Say it.
You are enough, you can do anything and everything you set your mind on.
Okay. Janice.
I would like to hear your emotions is not you being dramatic. I'm very dramatic, but in fact.
Ah, your emotions are not you being dramatic.
I'd like to hear that the sky is just an indicator. It's the beginning.
Yes.
I would have liked to hear you're just a fast one, you're not a co-pilot.
These were the assistant mothers.
Okay, you watched the video, so what did you think? Are you challenged? Are you reactionary? Is that a real word? Or maybe I just made one up. Anyway, I don't know. What do you like? What do you wish someone had told you growing up? Maybe you're watching this video and you got all the right affirmations. Or maybe you're watching this video and you were never affirmed growing up. In fact, you are called names, like some of us. So what are you doing now? Are you calling people names? Or are you able to speak love and life to others? What would you have liked to hear? I'd like to hear it in your comments. Share in the comment section. What would you like to have heard growing up? That it's okay to do this. Maybe you're in a trade that is maybe for men and you're a woman and you're told that you're not capable, or vice versa. Maybe you're a man and you're being told that this is for women. Like I remember a while back when men became hairstylists, it was a challenge for some of them. And then when women decided they wanted to do certain jobs like, driving a bus, engineering, trades that are typically dominated by men, like piloting, what would you have liked to hear? I would love to hear what you have to say. But to end this video, I just want to challenge us, each one of us. Let us love the people around us. Some of us did not grow up being affirmed. And I wish I could sit here and tell you it's okay. It's not okay. Because we ended up getting so wounded and we carried that baggage into other relationships. But it doesn't have to be like that. And so today I challenge us to go out there to inspire, motivate, and impact, and speak life. And those things that you'd have liked to hear, guess what? You can speak them to yourself. Yep, that's what I'm always telling my children. But whenever we meet, I'm like, I'm beautiful. I never had that growing up. I'm loved. I'm a child of God. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. Hey! I know who I am. I am blessed beyond a curse. And so, affirm yourself. Don't wait for somebody to affirm you. You must know who you are. And if you have issues, if you need counseling, if you need therapy, find it. It's okay. Just make yourself a better person. And don't carry the baggage of the wounds. Let them show as scars of the journey you have been through. But don't let it be the baggage that stops you from being the authentic, beautiful, handsome person that God put on this earth to give to the rest of us. Like I always tell you, remember, you are the answer to someone's prayer. So we need to see that gift. And we can't see it when you're carrying all this baggage around. So till next time, I have another I'm so excited by the way about the next video, because that one challenged me for real. That one challenged me. But I hope to see you next time. Again, please subscribe, share, and like. And I'll see you next time. Bye.